Welcome to Maker Table Metal. It's been a little over a year since we did a shop tour video, so I wanted to kind of show you guys what we do here, how we do it, and I also want to introduce you to the people that actually make it happen. This thing is way bigger than it used to be. It's no longer just me by myself in my shop at my house. There's now 17 full-time people that come here to work every day. So I want to go through some of the processes we have here, some of the stuff we've changed and improved, and introduce you to the people that actually make it happen, because I definitely couldn't do any of this without all of their help. So come on guys, let's go check out the shop. Okay, if you remember from the last shop tour, this used to be a retail area where we sold signs to local people that walked in the door. We have totally given up on the physical retail game and gone 100% e-commerce. So we no longer have customers here up front. We took our point of sale system out and our kind of service counter that we had up here, and we've totally renovated this space to be strictly manufacturing, making, and shipping products. So the biggest thing that we introduced to this room is a double shipping lane right here. So we can actually have two people working in shipping. Usually Olivia back there. Say hi, Olivia.
Hi.
Olivia. She usually burns through the signs, and we have Josh that works part-time up here, and he burns through all of the kind of fabricated products that need to be shipped. So why don't we shoot over here into shipping, and we'll kind of show you what Olivia does on a daily basis.
Yeah, so everything comes up to me either directly, the raw steel comes straight up from fabrication and stuff, and then the powder we bring up from the back. It all gets down stacked over here to the side. All the powder stuff gets cardboard between it so it doesn't get scratched. The order gets pulled up in the system, and then we match the sign to the order. It gets wrapped with cling wrap. It gets fitted cardboard cut to the size of the sign, and then that gets taped shut. Every order has a card, a sticker, and a piece of candy in it, just for your enjoyment. And then we cross-check it in the system, make sure it's right, make sure it's going to the right person, and then it gets labeled and set over there to the side for our UPS and USPS people to pick up.
Awesome. Pretty streamlined. This is something we've worked on a lot since the early days. We used to package stuff up on the floor of my house and tear up the carpet, and eventually we've kind of slowly added things to this whole station here where we have almost everything you need within reach, really.
Yeah, everything's within like a 3-foot radius. Anything that I ever need for shipping is all right in this box.
So that's the big goal here, is like once a person's in shipping, they can hang out here and just keep pushing products. Because as you can see, this is, you know, about 3/4 of the way through the day, and I don't know, how many packages have you shipped today?
That's a good question. Probably 30, 40. Our goal today was somewhere between 50 and 60. So one of the huge improvements we did was physically dating all of the signs with a tag that has the order date on it, so that when it comes up, it is easier to sort, it's easier to keep track of what day we're working on that day, and it's easier to look at it as a whole and be like, okay, we have to get through every sign with this number on it today, and if it doesn't have this number on it and we can't find it, we need to go ahead and get it back reprocessed so that we do have it.
I keep stuff from getting out of order.
Yes,
which
it's been very helpful.
Huge problem here. We'll like ship 50 things out, but sometimes it's not the right 50 things, so then we're late. That's definitely a big deal.
I like that there's constant improvement. Nobody's ever like judgmental when you try to make an improvement. People are very open to the fact that we're all trying to make improvements all the time, and it's not like, well, we've done it this way forever. It's, we've been doing it this way forever, but now it's better, so let's make it better.
Cool. I like that. All right, guys. Thanks, Olivia. We'll let you get back to work. Sorry for distracting you here. Let's see here. You guys want to shoot up to the office, and we'll kind of introduce you to about half of the design and sales team, because the other half actually remotes in and works from their house now. We got Stephanie and Callie that both work. We got Stephanie and Callie that both work from the house, and Scott and Natalie usually do as well, but they're actually hanging out here today in the shop working on a special project. All right, guys, welcome to the office. This is actually a glue-up station. It's so cold right now, there's nowhere else in the shop that's heated, so I had to do some glue-ups this weekend. which is why there's a mess in here, because I didn't clean up after myself. Sorry. This is where design, sales, and operations takes place. So we've got Natalie right over here. She's working on new listings. Say hi, Natalie.
Hi.
And then we have Ashley back here. If you talk to a sweet Southern belle on the phone, it's probably Ashley. And if you see some great pictures in a listing, it's probably Natalie. And if your stuff is on time, it's definitely Dylan.
Hello.
So this is part of the production dream team in here. Take it away, Natalie.
All right, so when you want to place an order with us or create a design, so what we'll do, you'll send us a message, an email, we'll receive that, and I will either direct you to a listing that we already have existing in our shop, or we can create something completely new and totally custom for you. That's super fun. I love being creative, so that's my favorite. And yeah, we'll work with you back and forth on that design, and we'll come up with something that's perfect for you and something that you will really love and cherish for generations. And then from there, you'll place an order, and then we will start your design. We'll communicate with you back and forth, you know, as often as we need to get something completely perfect for you. Then we will go through, we'll take your design that you've approved, something that you love, and we will run that through production. Then we will get that shipped out to you as soon as we can. So I think my favorite thing about working here is definitely having an amazing creative outlet. So I get to be creative, but I also get to get paid for it. So, like, pretty good deal there.
Professional artiste. All right, where should we go next? Let's see if we can get Dylan to talk. He hates talking. Okay, this is Dylan. He's actually a partner in the business with me. He has not been in really any YouTube videos to speak of, because it's just not his thing, but I, for some reason, found him in the right mood to hang out with us here on YouTube for a little bit. So Dylan is our operations manager. He basically manages the whole flow of all the material through the shop. So when we get an order, he's responsible for getting it cut, getting it ground, getting it powder coated, getting it in a box on time. If there's any special shipping instructions, he creates the G-code, he nests sheets for the laser. He's also our maintenance guy. He fixes every single thing here that breaks. He does the building maintenance, he replaces lights, he does electrical. He's like a one-man army for sure. So Dylan, if there's anything I didn't cover, you want to just kind of like run down like maybe some of your favorite improvements you've done here, or your favorite stuff about the job?
So one of my favorite things about Maker Table is I like to sort of equate us to a MacGyver, because we use the tools and the resources we have to solve problems in a way that is oftentimes clever and inexpensive. So probably one of my favorite improvements that we made was we created a DXF system. Every item that we created in the shop had to have a DXF for it, or a file that we could put on a nesting software that was coordinates that could be cut on a plasma table and now laser. And because we were already taking all the information to put it into a DXF like that, why not take all information about that item and write it down on that same DXF?
Translation, we basically added all the item information for the customer in the file name that we saved for each sign or project that goes through the shop. So it sounds like a little thing, but it's actually been a huge part of our system of keeping stuff organized here, and we figured that out through a lot of trial and error. We have we've tried papers taped to everything, we've tried tags, we've tried having carts. It's endless, and we're always trying to make it better.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges for us, is managing the flow of information and the material flow, and making sure the flow of information and material flow are together as it moves through the shop. Listening to music is probably my number one favorite thing about being here, but I also like that we build good teams here of people that are willing to say what they think. You get a lot of these places, and well, for me especially, there are so many things here that we do that I don't understand intimately, that I couldn't just go and do in my free time as a hobby. But each person here has their own personal interest that they partake in that brings some knowledge into the company. And when you get a workplace culture where people can't talk about their outside experience or skills, the only people solving problems are the ones that have the most narrow view of the processes. There's a lot of different skills in this place, and because people are willing and able to talk about their own ideas, we can incorporate those things and make improvements to our process.
Which, that was pretty beautiful actually, because the name Maker Table, I always thought of it, not that we make a bunch of tables here, but I wanted to collect makers like the Knights of the Round Table. Like, we're all a bunch of makers with different skill sets and specialties that all come together, and we sit at the same place and, you know, basically combine our skills to become something more than we already were before we showed up. So, anyways, I really like that. That was nice.
Cool, man.
All right, well, you finally met Dylan after like almost 5 years now. But we'll get going into the shop and we'll show you guys the rest of the stuff, okay? Don't forget, rule number 1 here at Maker Table. All right, everybody, this is Davian. He is one of our operations guys here. He does a lot of different things. He's not like a one-trick pony, so to speak. He can actually run the laser, run the grinding station. He does some welding. And he's always trying to pick up and learn new things. So, but he's going to help run us through basically this grinding station right now and explain it a little bit.
Starting out and grinding, knock out all letters and everything out of the sign that doesn't belong in the sign. And then when we start grinding, our laser will leave nitrogen shots in the front that have to be grinded off, which then, if they have to be painted any color, they don't have to be grinded off that well because they won't show up under color. But if they have to be raw or painted with an indoor clear finish, they have to be taken off real carefully so they don't scratch the sign.
All right, we had to jump outside. The shop is just getting a little too noisy right now. But this is Clay, Mr. Hollywood.
What's up?
Clay Boy himself. He fabricates pretty much everything that's ordered from the website, Etsy, or Amazon. He's like a one-man band, like all at once. Yeah. He plays all the things. But if you want to just, can you run us through basically like a typical day in the life of Clay, I guess?
Sure. First thing in the morning, I check the fab list and see what all I have to do that day, see what all's due, and then I like to pretty much organize my work before I get started, you know. Yeah, I'll go over to the saw and cut and go back to the table, start tacking, making sure like the posts are square and the tabs on the handrail are square and centered. I go through and I put the plugs in the posts and I weld it up, and then after everything is welded up, I'll grind and then finish, you know, grind the corners down, make sure everything's smooth and round, and yeah. Basically one of my favorite things about working here is, you know, the hard work that I do is going to someone, you know. I just like to hold a, you know, a certain standard to the work that I do. So, you know, it feels really good that it's going to someone, you know. That's probably my favorite thing.
Yeah, I think that's cool that we're like a factory that goes directly to the customer.
Right.
It's not in a warehouse, it's not in a box store.
Yeah.
It's like we really do have a connection with the people that we make this stuff for.
I'm really, like, I'm not OCD, but I would consider myself a little OCD.
Give us your OCD-ness right now. Let's see it.
Man, I really like to be super organized, because I feel like that, like planning your work and being organized while you're working, it just creates this like ability to really get after it. And when it's like cluttered and stuff like that, I just feel like you're like, crap, you know, like there's a lot of stuff everywhere to, you know, it can kind of flush you sometimes.
Yeah.
So just being like super organized and just having a place for everything, that just makes me work like really well.
So So we do got to work on our organization a little bit.
Yeah.
Marin's not here. She had to leave early to pick up her kid, but she's like the most organized person we have here.
Yeah.
We all need to like channel a little bit of her
For sure.
organizational energy. All right, well, cool. Hey, thanks, Clay.
Yep.
Ready to keep cruising? Let's see who else we can find out here. Okay, this is Charles. He runs a powder coat for us, and he does a couple other things around here, but powder coat's really, I think,
Yeah, that's my main thing.
that's his specialty. So Charles, why don't you run us through like a typical day or powder coat situation?
Basically, all I do is I'll get something like this, what we make. I tie it to a rack. One of these little fellas here, tie it down real good. Get some cleaner. I clean it with mineral spirits. Wash it off real good. Then I spray it down with acid, iron phosphate acid. What that does is it opens up the steel, kind of like making porous where the powder will stick to it. I put it in the oven for about a 10-minute pre-bake. Bring it out the oven. I let it cool down to temp. It has to be under 180 degrees before you spray the powder on it, or the powder will start to cook before you want it to do what it does. Once I get it coated, I put it back in the oven at whatever temperature the color calls for, and basically that's that. Unless it does not come out the way I want it to come out, then it's rework.
Yeah, rework. Nobody likes rework.
Nobody likes rework. I don't like rework, and I do tell everybody, be careful with my signs.
But the one thing we hate more than rework is sending something shitty out to the customer. So
Yeah, so I hate that. I don't like sending out shitty objects, but I don't like rework.
So tell us something that you've like improved here in powder coat since you've been here.
Well, I don't have to travel back and forth to get powder no more. I used to walk, like I use 6 main colors. And I got other colors, but the 6 main colors I need, I would have to walk back and forth, back and forth. So instead of doing all that walking back and forth, I got them to make me this here cart with wheels on it, and I just put all my powder on here that I use. And if the cart gets in the way, I can just wheel it out the way.
That's the beauty of having a fab shop.
Right. That's the good thing about having anything I need. If I can think about it, they can fabricate it.
That's right.
Yeah, if you can think about it, we can fabricate it.
Oh, he's getting his sales shoes on now. That's what's up. All right.
Yeah,
So,
I enjoy working here a lot without them. I've powder coated in places before, but the thing about powder coating here, you get to get real creative. Very creative. I can get creative with the stuff because there's so many different colors. It's not just bland colors. Like I did one, I finally got one to glow in the dark. Did you see that one?
no, I haven't seen the glow in the dark. I saw that.
A big old white sign up there about what's named Time to Ride sign, taking it in the bathroom. I got it to glow in the dark.
All right, I'm gonna do that right after this.
Yeah.
I like the candy you did over Christmas. We gotta get some more candy stuff.
Yeah, I got it. Let me get one.
Yeah, you guys gotta check this out. We've been trying to get this candy powder coat down.
I still got a little work to do on it.
No, you gotta polish that thing up. We gotta. Here, let me.
Yeah, shine it up.
We gotta make it look good, like it did when you pulled it out.
Those been back here a minute, so you gotta excuse them. They're just some stuff I practice with.
It's just a little schmutz on there.
But
Let's see.
you spot your camera over here, you're about to see a finished product come out the oven.
Yeah, this is that Illusion candy powder coat color right here. It's got like a cool shine to it. All right, I'll let you get back to it. Thanks, Charles.
Next finished product. Y'all have a good day out there in YouTube land.
Come on, YouTube land. Okay, this is Ross. He's another one of our ops guys here. He can pretty much do everything as far as production goes in signs, but he's really moving into becoming a laser operator and even like a laser technician that can actually really dial the settings in and do some of the more complicated maintenance on the laser. So you want to kind of run us through like a typical day in the life of Ross here?
I usually start by coming in and turning the laser on and seeing how many sheets we already have ready to cut, and then I come out to the yard and see if we have any inventory that we need or that I need to move from outside into inside, and then just go on with the task for the day. You know, as far as picking up where other people have left off and, you know, running around doing 10 things at once.
Yeah, so you handle all of our raw inventory when it comes off the trucks. You unload all the trucks, and then one of your big jobs is just changeovers between materials on the laser. You want to talk about kind of what that entails as far as the operation on the laser?
What that usually means is just putting a full sheet of metal on the laser for it to cut, and then taking that skeleton, which is just the outline stencil of where the signs are cut, and bringing it out to the trash, and then taking the signs and then putting them into production. And you know, changing settings in between materials and things like that as well.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Because if you get the settings wrong, we'll blow a lens.
Mess around and have a whole bunch of signs welded instead of cut. And,
yeah, it turns into a mess.
Yeah. One thing that me and Dylan have improved and are still trying to work out is just, you know, communication. And we've installed an app on our phone, which is kind of like a walkie-talkie. So even if you're listening to music or, you know, listening to some podcast, he'll come in and say, hey, we need XYZ to happen before this time, or, you know, whatever. But yeah, a lot of the things that I want to improve just, you know, take time and practice to learn. You know, like for instance, welding, that's not something that I'm, you know, gratefully good at, but, you know, it's just something that takes time. I'd say it's something I like about working here is just, you know, everybody's attitude. You know, everybody comes into this old dusty metal shop. I mean, it is a metal shop, but, you know, people are always real nice and, you know, lighthearted, and anybody you work for named Hefner is always going to take care of you. I mean, yeah, but everybody make sure to let everyone else know that the vibe is don't take your job too serious. And I can appreciate that. You know, sometimes people stress things, blow things way out of the water, and you know, I think that you know, mistakes are made here, and we can recover from those mistakes, and you know, not stress too much about it.
I think our nitrogen is
It's getting a little chilly out here.
telling us to cut it out.
It's ready to spew out a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thank you very much, Ross. Let's get back to it. All right. We have covered shipping, design, sales, welding, grinding, fabrication, laser, powder coat. Let's talk about our field work a little bit. I'll show you the staging ground for the field stuff. All right, and this is the final section of the shop. It's our back bay. We have our old plasma table back here that we keep as kind of a backup. We don't really run anything on plasma anymore. Everything's gone over to the laser. But what we do run out of this room is all of our contracting and construction jobs. We have a very capable fabrication shop that makes all kinds of weird, unusual stuff. And last year, with everything that went on, we had kind of a retail scare where all of the online shopping really slowed way down for about 2 months, and we had to lay off a couple people. And part of me trying to find more work was changing what we do. So I went out and got a contracting license and started chasing contracting work here locally in Nashville. So now we fabricate, design, and install our own work here in the Nashville area. So that's where this kind of space comes into play. Is this back bay is where we prefabricate and we stage all of our material to go out to the field where we do our installs. That's been probably the fastest growing, most exciting part of Maker Table in the last year or so has been the construction contracting side. We are really starting to make a name for ourselves here in the area and get a lot larger contractors that kind of know who we are and the level of work that we perform. So that has been really where most of my energy has gone into. I've stepped away from the website and the e-commerce side, and most of my day now involves bidding out new work, finding new jobs, and then keeping the jobs we're in the middle of rolling with material and manpower and equipment and tools and all that. So that's been my puzzle, is really trying to learn contracting and construction this year to keep that side growing. So we were able to hire back all of our people and even hire more and start growing again based on the construction business. So that is, I can see, you know, the future of where we're going. We have a new shop actually planned. We're going to try and build this year, which will let us grow even more, because at this building right now, we're actually out of power. So I've added 400 amps to this building, and I cannot plug one more thing in without unplugging something else. So I'm kind of landlocked here because of electricity, which is forcing us to go look at other places. It's an awesome problem to have, but it's still a problem. And that's part of my goal, is to take us to the next place, the next evolution, and make even more jobs, and see how big we can get this thing. So really hope you guys enjoyed the shop tour. If you want to see anything else more in depth, if there's something interesting you feel we didn't cover enough, shoot it down in the comments below, and I might make another video about it and explain more if we get enough people asking. I know you guys have been asking for a laser video. I really need to take the time to do that, and definitely sometime this year I'll get that knocked out. But thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe, like, comment, let people know about us. Happy making. Later, guys.